Hey, I'm Warwick Patterson, the producer of Subaru Launch Control.
And I'm Christopher Bowes, I'm the director of Launch Control. This is episode number 6 on the Launch Control Top 10.
So yeah, this is really weird. It's the rare occasion that we turn the cameras on ourselves. But this is season 4, episode 4, Grip Management from Nurburgring and Olympus Rally.
Rally is already a difficult sport to cover, but going to Nurburgring and covering the 24 hours is a whole other challenge. It's relentless.
Yeah, when we look back at this episode, it really brings back the memories of trying to cover an immense event, a 13-mile track spread across the countryside of Germany with a small crew, and trying to tell the story of everything going on within the team and out in the elements on the racetrack.
This one's for all the people who leave comments on the YouTube page. We appreciate it, and we do read it. This is the director's cut. Let's give it a go.
Domination is rare in motorsports, while no team can ever claim it for long. Subaru has remained at the pinnacle in more than one of their competitive endeavors. In America, Subaru has set the mark on the rally stages for years.
Amazing to do what we've done, but you can only do that when you've got a great team behind you.
And so far in 2016, Subaru Rally Team USA is on track for another banner year.
It's been a fantastic battle. It's been tough. The pace of the front's been awesome, and the battle's just been so nip and tuck. This is what rallying's all about.
In Germany, Subaru Technica International have become the team to beat at the 24 Hours of Nürburgring.
We built a car which was faster, stronger, more easy to drive. It was just a fantastic year.
This year, they're planning for a repeat. Higgins and Drew take to the Olympus rally stages.
I'm ready to start with one of the longest days of Rally America series. The nature of these roads here is super challenging. Every road just lined by danger.
And STI embarks on another round-the-clock challenge. The pressure is building, and expectations are high.
We can repeat that, what we did last year. This is what we do.
This is Launch Control. Pre-event preparation is the key to motorsport success. In a 24-hour endurance race, the devil is in the details. Every second spent stopped in the pits is a second lost on the track. That's why this event is the team's sole focus for the year.
Sure, there's only one track like the Nurburgring and the Nordschleife where the car is put to the extreme of extremes, you know, all the difference in height, the cornering. The track is 25 kilometers, so it's a big area. So some parts it's raining and some parts the sun is out.
It's just one racetrack at the whole world like this. You have everything here. You have all seasons kind of weather every time I'm here. So we didn't have snow this year so far. As a driver, it's very special place.
I think if you would ever think of a design, you would not come up with it. So it's just amazing.
2015 saw the team build an unprecedented lead that they carried to the end. But before the race even finished, they were thinking about improvements for the year ahead. This team does not stand still.
With our team and our power together, we can repeat that, what we did last year.
We tried to develop the car from last year. First time I drove the Subaru STI, we just did like under 10 minutes, one lap. We already improved on just setting up, suspension development. Now we're challenging to go under 9 minutes.
In front of a massive crowd, the 24-hour countdown is set to begin.
So the Nürburgring track itself is legendary, and the 24-hour race is something else. The lead up to it, the energy, And as a fan of motor racing, I was excited. I was at Nurburgring, and you get swept up in all the emotion. But along with that energy comes a bit of anxiety or anticipation, because you know you're in it for the long haul.
You know, when you do rally, you think of it as a marathon. You're doing stage after stage, and you're leapfrogging the event and trying to capture these moments. But the race is only these short 10 minutes or 12-minute stages, and then there's relaxed time. I can't imagine the 24 hours of Nurburgring, because it literally doesn't stop, or it didn't stop until this year.
We'll just take the start, we'll see how the car is behaving, the tires, but it's quite hot now, so I think some rain coming. You know, the Eifel area is known for being so unpredictable. I have had weekends here that one day it nearly slows and the next day is 25 degrees and you can walk around in shorts, so we'll see.
Teams take off, knowing that the first corner isn't where you win this race, but rather the 1,000 corners that follow. Storm clouds loom on the horizon. Subaru will be doing battle not just with their opponents, but with Mother Nature herself. In Washington State, Subaru Rally Team USA is set to take on the Olympus Rally, one of the longest events of the year.
It's the longest day of rallying I've ever done in terms of just pure stage miles, even longer than Rally GB that we did in World Championship last year. So it's a very, very tough day. The stages are very demanding, very technical and twisty and quite rough in places. So really looking forward to it, because to me that's what rallying's all about.
With key rivals absent, this is a prime opportunity to claim championship points. The long stages have the number 75 Subaru at a disadvantage.
It's a new rule that started last year. Basically, you're limited to 14 tyres for a whole event. This rally is the first time where we're definitely going to have to be going on some stages on tyres that are less than ideal.
As David and Craig take to the stages, the goal is to set an early pace,
right 6 long, 120.
build a lead, and then preserve the tires.
Minus long, tuck to arrow, then late left 3 plus. 30. Flat crest, then late left 5 minus tightens.
With 4 stages and 36 miles to run this morning, Higgins and Drew will be pushing hard to kick off the event. By design, rally tires have a sharp-edged tread made of soft rubber that conforms to fine grip on loose surfaces. But the soft compound comes with a trade-off in longevity. With each mile that passes, their tires and their grip deteriorates.
Left 4, watch the tight 2 plus in, then left 4, and short, right 6, 60, care, right 3 tightens don't, tightens again, into left 2 plus long.
Through the first loop, the number 75 Subaru holds a 2-minute lead over the closest competition. At service, it's clear these rough roads are taking a toll.
Side to side play.
We've only got the 14 tyres. Trying to manage them has been a bit of a challenge. Conditions are pretty hard out there. The roads are just rock hard, real loose and slippery. We took some really good tyres off partway through that loop to save them, to then give us some new tyres to run on for tomorrow. So there's a lot of thinking going on, a lot of wheel changing going on.
Try to save something, then you can use the 4 new ones.
Yeah, tomorrow,
both front or rear or whatever.
So in Germany, one of the big logistical challenges is you're filming for 35 hours, and you're obviously going through cards worth of footage. You need to be able to offload those. So we actually had a little setup upstairs above the pits. The STI team had a hospitality suite. So tucked in the corner, we had a computer in the closet basically with a hard drive plugged in, constantly transferring footage. And the cameras would come back from the field. We'd plug a card in, take a new card, go back to filming. And we walked away from that event probably with 3 terabytes of footage.
And then the footage comes back from Nurburgring, and we immediately jump into post-production. We have a couple editors that start breaking down the content while we develop a storyline, and eventually multiple editors are editing the show. And we get a rough cut done in about 10 to 12 days. Once you add color paths and graphics and revisions and audio mixing and all this stuff, you're at about 20 days. And if you add up a season, you're talking about 50 to 60 terabytes a year. It's immense.
With just a few hours completed in the 24-hour endurance race, Subaru is in the heat of the battle. The car is running perfectly, and the lap times are on point. But there's still a long way to go. The impending storm has arrived, and one of the most difficult races in the world is about to get even more challenging. A light rain begins as the team orbits the track, but a full-on deluge awaits them further ahead. A localized hailstorm is causing havoc. Chaos ensues. With most teams on racing slicks, the track becomes a skating rink. Before anyone can warn him, Carlo drives into the wall of hail. Thanks to all-wheel drive and a bit of rally luck, he narrowly escapes disaster. Race control throws the red flag. Unable to move, cars sit parked on the track as if there was no race at all. The green hell has lived up to its reputation.
So in this season of Launch Control, it wasn't my first time at the Nurburgring. So I had a bit of a plan going in as the producer. And so when a plan goes out the window, you need to rely on your instinct, but also your original plan. When things change, you know you have this backstop of your original plan. You have a bunch of footage you've shot, you have a storyline you're following, and then you can deviate from that.
You know, to give you an idea of how often the plan works out and how many times it doesn't, I would say in the top 10 that, you know, you haven't all seen yet, you've only seen, we're at number 6. But once you've seen all 10, I would tell you quite honestly, there's probably 3 of them where the plan was essentially executed as planned. The other 7 are all adapted, changed, thrown out the window. Reality set in and your script didn't matter.
Red, so I break off on nothing.
What color? Okay.
But I think Sayed is the first one.
Yes.
Me is the second one.
Yes.
I never been so close to it. It's part luck, a big part luck, and a part maybe under the gravel. We know Subaru is very good. It was not even rain, it was ice. At the moment it seems the car is fine, but yeah, there was an exciting moment for sure.
Back in America, Subaru Rally Team USA is in the home stretch of the Olympus Rally. David and Craig have run a clean event. They've preserved the tires, kept the car out of trouble, and have won every stage so far.
350. Lovely. I literally couldn't have done that better myself. Keep leftover crest.
As they cross the final time control, they complete what they came here to do: claim maximum points toward the championship.
Tough rally. We haven't had the intense battles that we had on the last 2 rallies, but the roads here are such a huge challenge. We still had to push on fairly hard because it was important for us to do some testing, try some new DMAT tyres that we've been working on.
Points counted, trophies collected, on to the next event.
you know, we're rally fans and we're race fans. So in this event, oftentimes this event lands on the same weekend, or at least the crew that went to Nurburgring is kind of exhausted and doesn't end up going to Olympus that could be the weekend before or the weekend after. And so you have to send different crews to different places, and everyone is passionate about what they're doing there. So we send guys that love the sport, love the cars, love everything about that, and that's how you develop that trust and have those teams flying to different places, and believing that you're going to come back with a compelling story.
And there's a certain quality of a character who becomes a cameraman on the launch control shoots, because you're not working in a studio, you're out in the elements, you got to be self-producing, self-reliant, and the people we have on the crew are just awesome at that, and they'll put in the long hours to tell the story just because they love what they do.
Success on one side of the world, stalled on the other.
So the Nurburgring track is huge, and you're standing on top of the pits watching this weather system come across the mountains. And I knew that Kevin, our camera guy, was out on that side of the track somewhere. And I'm looking at the TV screen, and suddenly there's hail falling on the TV. And I'm like, okay, I know Kevin's out there. I hope he's got shelter, but also I hope he's getting the shot. And after everything got stopped and we're all huddling in the pit area, I just remember Kevin walking through the door, just soaking wet, water dripping off him and his camera, and just this look of resignation on his face.
Kevin is not a smiley dude in the first place, so that's very funny.
But as Kevin does, he got the shots we needed.
The storm has passed, and organizers are planning to restart the race. The 2-hour red flag delay plays games with the driver's mindset.
In the beginning of the 5th lap was some incident with some ice sent down from heaven, and Carlo was very, very lucky to avoid a crash in the gravel, so very good rally qualities. Now it's a restart, but again the weather is very, very unstable.
As the race returns to green, it can be difficult to find the rhythm again. There's still plenty of water on the track, limited visibility, and always the potential for more chaos. It takes nerve to race at their full potential. As the sun sets, the nighttime brings its own ebbs and flows. The world beyond the headlights slips away, and the drivers settle into their pattern lap after lap. 1.5 hours on track, punctuated by a pit stop. Followed by another 1.5 hours of racing. This is the systematic nature of endurance racing.
Stay out of trouble at night. You just need to keep a certain rhythm.
Overnight, Subaru's main competition has closed the gap, and it's up to Subaru to respond. The warmth of the sunrise signals a new day, but merely the halfway point of the race.
And the sun comes up and you realize, oh, okay, we're almost done. And then you realize, nope, we're only halfway through. and you have a whole nother day of shooting ahead.
And you know, every year that we go to Nurburgring, everyone puts their hat in the ring to go. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword. If you get picked, you're gonna basically use every inch of energy you have. You have to expect to fly, change time zones, and then the next morning work a test day and then 35-hour day the following day, and then fly home immediately because the footage has got to get back and get edited. So you kind of want to go to Nurburgring, and you kind of don't want to go to Nurburgring, all at the same time. So when you factor in all those things, sometimes it's just nice to go to Olympus.
This event is turning into a nail-biter. Any mechanical slip or driver error will slip the Subaru back into the grasp of their class opponents. It's a tense moment for the team. But as the sun climbs and the clock counts down, the likelihood of failure diminishes.
Despite, in the moment, some of these events seeming super long, super hard, so much logistics and planning and producing, it's been 7 seasons now of Launch Control, and when these episodes come out, it's always worth it. And all the comments we get, the likes we get.
It's pretty cool to see all the comments from the fans and to read those. We do read them, and it's also fun to see the pressure that they apply every spring. Like, hey, where's Launch Control? When's Launch Control coming back?
So after year 1, we thought, okay, that was great. And then we got year 2, we got year 3. Last year we finished year 7. And the end of every year, you think, do we have another one? Are we going to get another one? Do we get to keep telling this story? And every year when they say yes, it's a huge relief and also a sense of celebration for us. We get to keep telling this awesome story.
A strong morning performance has rebuilt their lead.
Marcel is in the car now. He knows what to do. I have no worries that we'll win this one again.
It was a present from Yamauchi-san, and he said I was last year the last driver, so now you are the last driver. So it's a great honor for me.
As the team crosses the finish line for the last time, they cross it first in class and 20th overall. In 2014, a second place finish was disappointing. In 2015, their dominance was asserted as other teams faltered. But today, against their opponents and Mother Nature, when everything came down to race strategy and overall speed, Subaru Technica International showed that their success was no fluke.
Thank you, Yamauchi-san. Thank you again. Thank you.
Today they celebrate. Tomorrow, 2017 begins.